Welcome to the ADIA BSEN 16005. Automatic folding doors. Door set with two or more leaves hinged together with one side of the leaf hinged or pivoted at the door set jamb. The automatic activators are to ensure that the door is activated by a person approaching the door set at a normal walking pace. The door set opens only when a person is close to the door due to a continuous passage of people causing it to activate. The door set width and its opening speed will affect the distance from the door set to the position of where activation will be initiated to ensure that it will open in time. Activation can be radar, infrared sensors, matte activation, vision sensors, etc. What is matte activation? The mat should measure the same width as the door opening less a maximum of 75 mm on each side. The minimum depth of the mat should be 1000 mm from the plane of the door set or from the leading edge of the door set in open position. Mat activators shall be securely fastened to the floor without the risk of tripping. For two mat activators side by side, the inactive distance between them should not exceed 60 mm. Sensor activation. What is sensor activation? Motion sensing devices or presence sensing devices initiate door set movement. The edge of the activation area for folding sliding doors is a minimum 1000 mm from the center of the door set. Activation area for a door on an emergency or escape route without breakout is a minimum 1500 mm. It must cover at least the entire opening width. What is manual activation? Manual activation is when the door is activated by a trigger such as a press pad. The activation device must be located in a position where they do not put the user in a potential crushing hazard. Shall be positioned where the user has a clear view of the door set and not susceptible to inadvertent activation. Must be clearly identified and visible. May be provided on power-operated door sets used by the public, for instance, to help the elderly and infirm persons. What is remote activation? Remote activation enables the door to be activated via a remote command that may be used at a distance from the door set. Activation may be caused by a signal from a fire alarm or centralized control station following a power failure or by other sources. The remote activation of a door on escape or emergency route shall only initiate the opening of the door set. Avoidance of danger points. Protection at danger points. Power-operated pedestrian door sets shall be designed to avoid hazards, crushing, shearing, impact and drawing in during the opening and closing cycles. Danger points shall be safeguarded up to 2.5 meters above the floor with the exception of guide slot in drive cover or a drive arm or closing action at the top of the door set, as this is not considered a danger point. In any contact with this area requires intentional action. Danger points between leaf and frame presenting a finger trap hazard can be protected up to 2 meters. The following can be used to safeguard the danger points: barriers, limitation of impact forces, protective devices, Safety distances. Low energy movement. Barriers prevent pedestrians from entering non-safe zones by directing traffic. They shall be designed so that children cannot easily climb or crawl under them. Suitably secured. Able to withstand forces occurring in normal service. A minimum of 900 mm high. Not to create new hazards, for example, drawing in or shearing. The dynamic forces impacting on a person or an obstacle are considered safe if it does not exceed the figures below. The maximum permitted dynamic force varies depending on the distance between the door leaf and the opposing edge. The measuring points for each door type are given in Annex B of the BSEN 16005. Protective devices can be pressure sensitive protective equipment, PSPE, requires interaction for activation, for example mats, trip bars, pressure sensitive edges, etc. Electrosensitive protective equipment, ESPE, activated by interruption or reflection of beams or waves, for example light detectors, vision detector sensors, photocells, etc. Protective devices shall comply to the EN ISO 13849-1 Performance Level C, prevent hazardous leaf movements, protect to a level of at least IP44 or higher if exposed to outdoor conditions, comply with EN 12978, safety distances. Safety distances to prevent crushing or drawing in. More than 200 mm for the head. Less than 8 mm or more than 25 mm for fingers. More than 500 mm for the body. Opening cycle. Safety during opening cycle. Crushing edge between the secondary closing edge of the door set leaf that opens and the opposing edge, for example adjacent wall, and the gap between the two folding leaves is regarded as protected if there is sufficient safety distance between secondary closing edge and adjacent parts of the surroundings with regard to the endangered parts of the human body, or the impact force of its leaves if limited to permitted forces specified in 4.6.7, or protective devices monitor the travel area of the door set leaf. Closing cycle. Safety during closing cycle. Danger points in the area of hinges where fingers may get crushed shall be avoided by constructive means, separating equipment or protective devices. Crushing edges at the main closing edge are regarded as protected if the protective devices are installed at the outer door set side in combination with a force limitation device. Finger trap hazard shall be avoided by either protective device, ESPE, PSPE, structural designs, protective measures, finger guard, escape routes. Operation mode selection determines the behaviour of the door. The mode of operation should be able to be identified easily. If a locked mode of operation is available, the mode of operation will be protected by an access code or key so that changes can be made by the authorised personnel only. Folding door sets with breakout function. system whereby door set leaves can be pushed open manually in the direction of escape. Leaves should be able to break out into any position in the direction of escape. Emergency breakout sign will be fitted. The force required to break out should not exceed 220 newtons. The maximum force to open up a door after breakout, if closing device is fitted, is 150 newtons. When door set is broken out, the automatic movement shall stop or reach a predetermined safe position and stop. Folding door sets without breakout function. Door sets with a clear opening width of up to 2000 mm shall open at least 80% within 3 seconds of activation in the escape direction or 5 seconds when power supply goes off. Door sets shall withstand a durability test of no less than 1 million cycles. The opening of the door set shall be guaranteed a fail-safe system in accordance with Performance Level D of the EN ISO 13849-1. The fail-safe system shall be automatically tested at least every 24 hours. If checks are not performed or if it fails, the door set will open and remain so. Signage. Two-way will open the traffic from both sides. Both faces of leaf, opening face of leaf. One way will open with one direction of traffic. Both faces of leaf, opposing face of leaf, closing face of leaf. Please continue to the quiz by clicking Mark Assignment.